In a bustling city, where people came and went, always in a hurry with their own lives, there was a man named João. João was known for his kindness and compassion, but many around him didn't understand why he cared so much for others, especially those who were considered strangers or less fortunate. One day, while walking along the road leading to the neighboring town, João came across a gathered crowd. Curious, he moved closer and saw in the middle of the road a man severely injured. The poor man had been robbed by thieves who left him almost lifeless after taking everything he had. Around him, several people watched, but no one approached. Some whispered among themselves, questioning who the unfortunate man was and why anyone should bother with him. João, upon seeing the injured man, felt a deep sadness and compassion. Without hesitation, he knelt beside the man, assessed his injuries, and began caring for him with whatever little he had in his bag, recalling the words of Jesus, as told in Luke 10:33-34, "But a Samaritan as he traveled came where the man was, and when he saw him, he took pity on him. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he put the man on his own donkey, brought him to an inn and took care of him." João did just that. He didn't think twice about using his own cloak to cover the man, and even paying for him to be lodged, promising to return and cover any extra expenses that might arise. João's actions drew the attention of everyone nearby. Some even questioned their own actions, or rather, their lack of action. Why hadn't they, who saw themselves as good and righteous people, done anything to help? It was an uncomfortable yet necessary question. João, by acting as a true Samaritan, showed that kindness and compassion know no boundaries, races, or religions. He lived out Jesus' teaching of loving one's neighbor as oneself, a lesson many of us forget in our day-to-day lives. The story of João and the injured man spread throughout the city and became a powerful reminder that our actions speak louder than our words. João's kindness not only saved a man's life, but also touched the hearts of many others, inspiring them to live according to the teachings of compassion and love for others, just as Jesus taught in Luke 10:36-37, "Which of these three do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers?" The answer is clear: the one who showed mercy. John, with his simple attitude of love and compassion, became a living example of the Good Samaritan, showing everyone that the true meaning of being a neighbor lies not in words, but in the actions we choose to take every day. And so, the story of the Good Samaritan continues to inspire and teach, generation after generation, the transformative power of kindness and compassion. On a sunny afternoon, while Jesus was teaching a crowd, a man spoke up to test him. "Teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" he said. Jesus, knowing his heart, responded with another question. "What is written in the law? How do you interpret it?" Luke 10:25-26. The man cited the commandment, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." Luke 10:27. "You have answered correctly," Jesus said. "Do this and you will live." But wanting to justify himself, the man asked Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" Luke 10:29. To answer, Jesus told the story of the Good Samaritan. A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he was attacked by robbers. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead by the side of the road. Luke 10:30. By chance, a priest happened to be going down the same road. When he saw the man, he passed by on the other side. Likewise, a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. Luke 10:31-32. But a Samaritan, as he traveled, came where the man was, and when he saw him, he took pity on him. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he put the man on his own donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day, he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper. "Look after him," he said, "and when I return, I will reimburse you for any extra expense you may have." Luke 10:33-35. After telling the story, Jesus asked, "Which of these three do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers?" Luke 10:36. The man replied, "The one who showed him mercy." Jesus then said, "Go and do likewise." Luke 10:37. The story of the Good Samaritan is a powerful reminder that our neighbor is not only those those who are near to us in terms of proximity or similarity. Our neighbor is anyone we encounter who cares about need regardless of their origin, religion, or social status. Jesus calls us to show compassion and love, to be Samaritans in a world full of broken and needy people. This story highlights the importance of acting with kindness and compassion towards everyone, teaching us that true love for others transcends biases and prejudices. We are reminded that in God's eyes, we are all neighbors and deserving of love.